Winging it. It can be a picker's paradise. Unbelievable. If the price is right. But I'm a picker, and I want to pick.
Do you sell any of this?
In general, no.
That's the worst thing a picker wants to hear.
A dark, dusty shed? Finally, this pick is looking up. But we've got company.
I'd say we're not alone in here.
Do you want him back?
You can take him if you like. It'll only bite you once.
I'm a bit concerned about getting up there.
I so want to get a bike.
Everything's for sale if someone's got money.
I love vintage bikes, and he wasn't selling rubbish. These were beautiful things.
That one, I'd want $800 plus for.
I don't know.
I'm Lucas Callahan.
And I'm Adam McDonald. And we're Aussie Pickers.
Our job takes us on a road trip across Australia. On the hunt for antiques and collectibles.
We pick through sheds and garages.
And we meet the amazing people who are keeping a real Australia alive. In a throwaway world, we're looking for the stuff that was built to last. Being a good picker is about getting on the road and tracking down the bargains. It's always worth the travel. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be doing this for a living, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's short distance, other times it's a long one. But, I like it up here. This is a nice country. A wonderful landscape.
This is. Hello.
Hello, my pickers.
Hi, Sass.
Well, we were hoping you'd call.
Well, that's good because guess what? I have the next pick. It's something very interesting.
Fantastic. What do you got?
I'm going to send you to a swap meet.
Okay.
It's in Toowoomba in Queensland.
Oh, yes.
It is one of the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere and 9,000 to 10,000 people go a day.
It's a lot of people.
You've got to get there early for the best treasures, otherwise they'll be gone.
Okay, will do. Can you just tell us where to go?
I'll send you through the details now, okay? But you've got a long way to go, so get pumping.
Thanks, Cecily.
Ciao, boys.
Bye.
Well, that sounds all right. I don't mind a swap meet. You better put your foot down.
Hey, what's that, 9 hours?
Well, we know what you drive like.
So it'll only be about 7 hours.
Like driving Miss Daisy.
Go on, Miss Daisy. Is this too fast for you?
The swap meet's 800 k's away, so there's plenty of time to talk picking tactics.
What are your techniques for haggling, mate?
Go in really low, like really low, so I've got some room to move.
You mean insultingly low, or...?
Depends how you look at it, I guess. I mean, it's the haggle. They open that gate and I'm running through it. I'd haggle on the bus, if I could.
Yeah.
That's $3.20, thanks. How about I give you $1.80? He says, how about you get off? But I've got to be tight, because the way I sell is I give it 1 week, turn it over, knock it out, regardless of what it gets. You know, and I love when you drive, because I can just sit around and just look out the window. And the best thing about looking out the window is you never know what you'll see.
You're never off the job, though? Always looking.
Well, look at those sheds. There's got to be something in those sheds. You don't build a shed and keep it empty.
Animals. Stockyard, isn't it?
No. You've always got your eyes peeled. Basically, you just drive around and see what you can find.
And if something catches your eye, you just pull over.
We call it winging it.
A couple of properties out here. Winging it is always a gamble.
Hang on. Oh, look at that.
Oh my God, look at
Yeah,
it. Mobile. Right.
First thing we see are these massive petrol signs.
It looks like a little museum just in the middle of nowhere. I like with the Catholic sign. Petrol signs? Scream collector.
What's that? I'm always on edge when I jump out at one of these things. You don't know who lives here, if there's a guard dog or what.
Hello. Trick is to make a lot of noise, let them know you're friendly, and that you just want to have a chat.
Hello.
G'day.
Come on up.
How are you? So we see this lovely couple. G'day, mate.
Greetings.
Adam.
Eddie, Thelma.
Lovely to meet you.
They seem pretty okay with us just dropping in, don't they? We were just driving past and we noticed all the signs on the side of your barn here. It's a good thing we stopped. We actually collect this sort of stuff.
Right.
We travel around sort of buying it and sell it on. How long have you been doing this for?
107 years.
Well done. That's obviously between the pair of you and maybe some kids, or...
No, just
The first thing I noticed about this place was that everything was in immaculate condition. There was no dust or rust. The boxes were beautifully oiled. Every engine, every piece of machinery in perfect working order.
Most of the things that are in this collection have been restored. I can't leave things undone. I just prefer to live in the past. I've never used a takeaway telephone. I've never used a credit card. I've never borrowed money that I can remember.
Where did the collection start? Do you remember the first thing you got?
Some bottles, antique bottles in the 1970s.
Okay.
And it just blew
It blew up from there. Norma, do you like collecting as much as Eddie?
Yeah.
That's good. It'd be hard to have a shed if Thelma didn't like it.
I reckon so.
Still haven't quite figured out who's the boss. It's Eddie's collection, but I think we've got to keep Thelma around as well. Do you sell any of this, or...?
Well, that might be a slight problem. In general, no.
He's a collector.
He's a collector.
Not keen to sell? That's the worst thing a picker wants to hear. Do you mind if we have a look around?
No, go ahead.
Fantastic.
Look around, yes.
You certainly covered every area, don't you? The walls are all done. The only thing left is the ceiling now.
This shed had everything, and it was killing me, because in the back of my mind were Eddie's words. He wasn't going to sell. We're going to have our work cut out for us here, so it's time to change tactic. We're going to look first and then try and butter them up. So this is like your cave, your den?
No.
No?
We've got another one that's more so next door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This wasn't even his good shed.
And we had to get a look at that so we know exactly what we're dealing with. It's unbelievable, this stuff.
And the Fiat's in there?
Oh, can we take that for a spin? When was the last time it was up and running?
Oh, wow.
Before we even made it into the shed, I was floored. It was a gorgeous old Fiat. I could see myself driving around in this. This is great.
Good to see somebody driving the Fiat.
Suits the hat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He looks the part too, you know. I paid $17,000 for it. If we could prove it raced at Maroubra, this car's worth $1 million.
It's way out of my price range, but I'm still really keen to see what Eddie's got in his prize shed.
Unbelievable. His kingdom, as he called it, most of it is good Australiana.
About 340 different categories.
340
That's
different
about.
categories. Have you tried cataloguing at all? Or?
No.
It's just way too much work.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of this stuff you just, you could never find again. I don't see many collections of this size. I see lots and lots of small ones, but not 5 sheds and not this much stuff. This is really, really rare.
It's fine being a visitor, but I'm a picker and I want to pick. Eddie says there's nothing for sale, but I'm going to give it a go. Would that be for sale?
Well, if it was, I'd be looking at $100.
100?
Yeah.
He's thrown back a price. He's playing. Would you take 80 on that?
Yes. Hey,
I'm going to put that in the van. That's a great buy. A sale. No one's more surprised than I am. Eddie's actually let something go.
Oh, that's cute. It's a clothesline, isn't it?
and you can then fold it back to the wall.
The clothesline, look, I love that sort of early Australiana stuff, you know? It's practical. It was designed for a purpose. What do you reckon, Ed?
I reckon it's awesome.
Isn't it? Such a simple, beautiful design. It had several arms on it, which would work really well in a modern house today. Majorly a unit. So somewhere in the city where there's not a lot of space, would something like that be worth?
25.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Look at that. It's cut my lunch.
Yep.
He's just taking it. I didn't even get the chance to think about it.
Be quick or be dead. No, that's good, Lucas. Well done.
All fair in love and war.
I was determined I wasn't going to sell anything.
But they were so easy to get along with, you know, there was no pushiness.
Now it's game on. Let the picking begin.
30.
I'll take that for 30.
Yeah.
10.
10? I'll do that for 10.
All right.
Thanks, Bummer.
What about these convict bricks, mate? Here's a guy that said he wasn't going to sell, and now you can't stop him.
What would you know about that?
I think it's a safety box from the army.
I'd seen one before, but the owner of it didn't particularly want to sell it. Would you sell that?
Well, I would, but I'd want $40 for it.
I'll give you $40 for that.
Chips.
Cheap as chips. You're right.
What about something like this little meat safe?
What they do is they dampen the bags,
Yeah.
attach them to there, and it would form a coldness for when you're putting your butter and stuff
Okay.
like that in.
Lovely little meat safe. It's got the maker's mark, the original cloth. It's just like an early fridge, basically. How much?
No.
I'll take that.
Okay.
Good on you. It's in really good condition. They're still collectible today. For $90, I think that's a steal.
Australian invention too, by the way.
Okay.
We're doing really well, but I'd really like to walk away with something of a decent size today. Then, at the back of the shed, I spot it. Would you be open to selling the Coke fridge?
I'd say you probably would be, yeah.
Yep. You've got an idea about how much these are worth?
Well, I'd only be guessing, but I sort of would have thought about $500 to $600.
Oh, good Lord. I'm surprised. That is actually in my ballpark. So you'd be happy with 5?
I'd be happier with 6.
I'll do you 6 on that.
Good.
Mate, that's great.
Yeah. And I didn't think I'd sell you a thing.
No, there you go.
Which is a surprise to myself.
And to me, absolutely, because he usually, oh no, it's not for sale, it's not for sale.
I'm stoked that Eddie trusted us enough to let us buy from his prized possessions and give those things a new life.
We scored some brilliant bargains. I mean, we came in expecting nothing, really. We're driving down the road. We're walking away with a full truckload of stuff.
Can't believe that he was so open with us, you know, like he's usually, I've seen him with people, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and he's ordered them out off the property.
Or ordered them off the property.
He has ordered them off the property.
Today easily could have gone bad. It just goes to show you that if you treat someone the way that you want to be treated, it all pays off. I paid $600 for the Coke fridge. I reckon I can get $800 to $900 for that.
The washing line I snatched from Lucas for $25, I'll get $100 at the auctions. The shell box set me back $80, I can at least double my money.
$40 for the army box. I'll sell that to someone else for $80.
Loving the meat safe. $90 outlay, but I'll sell it for $300.
There you go.
Right, thanks very much, Eddie. Really appreciate you letting us have a
Thelma,
look.
thank you so much,
Have a look
Eddie.
around.
Thanks a bundle for letting us go through your wonderful house. I love today, from the fear of the unknown to walking away with some beautiful pieces.
Bye. Bye.
See you later.
Toot toot.
We're in Queensland. We got an early night, so we could get up at dawn and snap up some early bargains. But one little picker, he slept through his alarm.
Oh, I got up and then thought, I reckon I could pinch another 10 minutes here. And then pinch another hour. Yeah. Just keep pinching.
We were a little later than we planned. We got there right on daybreak with everyone else.
What's that about? I bet you that's getting in. Told you there'd be heaps of people here. Cecily packed us off to Queensland to check out one of the biggest swap meets in the Southern Hemisphere.
It's a 2-day road trip, but that's not counting a spontaneous pit stop at Eddie and Thelma's.
We got some great picks there.
What would something like that be worth?
25.
I'll take it. How much?
90.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Good on you. But now we're behind schedule.
Okay then, bye.
We're in Queensland. We got an early night, so we could get up at dawn and snap up some early bargains. But one little picker, he slept through his alarm.
So what happened to you? You just slept like a machine.
Oh, I got up and then thought, I reckon I could pinch another 10 minutes here. And then pinch another hour.
Yeah, just keep pinching.
We were a little later than we planned. We got there right on daybreak with everyone else.
What's that about?
I bet you that's getting in.
The less negative things I say right now, the better.
Hey, fellas.
You come through the gate and it's like tent city. It's like a shanty town. There's tents everywhere. Everyone's sort of rugged up because we did get here pre-dawn.
How big it is? Yeah, it's massive. So that's what it's about.
These people are hardy, you know. They slept in their tents, in their camper vans, whatever, and they're ready to roll in the morning. I think it's great.
Look at these guys with their tops up, ready for the rain. Geez, we're really late.
How do you want to do this?
I don't know. I'll go that way.
I'm going to go that way.
Yeah, all right. We'll meet you in the middle.
Ciao. I'm always walking around, looking left, looking right, keeping the eyes open, because you never know quite what you're going to see.
It's just the whole atmosphere of the swap meet, you know, the smells. You smell hot dogs. The toilets are like a music festival at the end of the night. My MX are ruined.
Bit of mud, a lot of rusty equipment.
There's great stuff for sale everywhere you look. But really, it's all about the people. This place is a sea of characters. Collectors really are a breed all of their own. If you look beyond the mud and the beards, there's plenty of picking to be done. You have a shop, or you collect, or?
This is just our collection.
Yeah, right.
We're getting older,
Yeah,
so it's time to...
start to thin it out.
Yeah.
You take for him?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Bought a set of dominoes in a beautiful old 1950s box with greyhounds. I collect greyhound stuff.
I see.
I don't like dominoes, but I collect greyhound stuff. That one's going home.
Swap meet's good. There's some little bits of gold here and there. So, what is it?
I think it's a little more to a bomb.
Yeah, right. Did you do it for 20?
30, mate.
He said 25.
Did he?
Saw the Smith's wall clock, very collectible, classic, iconic shape, well made, English made.
55 and a choice.
Deal. Good on you, mate. Perfect. Made for it.
There's plenty of good stuff, but we just got here a little too late to snap up the bargains. Would you do 20?
Make 30 bucks, mate.
I'm going to have to think about that.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of stuff here that I really like. Some of it's overpriced. They're pretty high end, but...
I'm just thinking it's all a bit like a retail shop. I was quite surprised.
So you stand on them, look down and look in the mirror, it reflects the actual scale.
I can't get 2 feet on there.
You want to make a bet? Drop it down. Try one. See, look at it. And then you look at the reflection in the thing, you see weight. Salters, they're quite rare, actually.
What do you want for them?
$250.
Nah, too much for me. These people are selling off all their good stock. What we need to do is find someone who's willing to take us home and show us what they've got in their shed. And then we found the bike guy, a man after my own heart. I love vintage bikes, and he wasn't selling rubbish. These were beautiful things.
Yep.
I'm Lucas.
James.
G'day, James.
Adam.
Nice to meet you. Bikes, are you?
Yeah, we don't mind oddball bike. What's the fascination for you? Why do you like bikes so much?
They're everything. It's art, it's engineering, it's history, it's transport, it's sustainable, it's simple.
Yeah.
They are a beautiful thing.
We haven't done anything better. In 100 years, it's still the best invention. You can't improve it.
Yeah.
One of those things they got right straight away.
Yeah.
This guy's amazing. He drives around in the roughest old truck you've ever seen, but treats his bikes like gold.
Are these ones for sale?
I bring these bikes along basically to try and get some interest. Yeah. And if someone's interested, they'll come and see what I've got at home.
Yeah, right.
So you got many more at home?
I've got lots more.
Any chance we can come see what you got at home?
If I could arrange that, I'm sure.
That's great.
I've got a house full of bikes.
A house of bikes? I love the sound of that. Today just got a lot better, and you know where I'm going to head next. So James's
bicycles.
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah. I mean, those
you're mad
bikes,
for a bike, aren't you?
Well, they're good sellable things, I think.
Yeah.
Bikes are very hot at the moment. You've got all these hipsters looking for other ways to get around. There's good coin to be made. With blokes like James, it's going to be one or two extremes. Either really messy or it's going to be really, really clean.
Yeah.
And everything ordered, boxed, labelled. We just have to see. I prefer if it's messy.
Rather than climb all over grease and dirt, to be honest.
You get it cheaper.
I have been to other bike collectors' houses, and to be honest, there's lots of buckets just full of pieces. You couldn't see much from the street. Nice enough house. Friendly dog to meet us at the gate.
Hello, black dog. Where's your mate?
But then we turned the corner. Now that's a lot of bikes. Look at that. That is incredible. Could you get them any tighter? This really is the house of bikes. Hello.
Hello. Hello, come through.
Hey.
How you going?
Yeah, good.
We walked straight in under the house into this old school workshop, and it was amazing. Everything was beautifully laid out. Bikes everywhere. And there's James, and he's fixing a puncher.
We're always working.
Good to see you.
Hello, mate. Good to see you again.
Come to look for some bikes.
Yeah, thanks for having us over.
Look at all this stuff.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Bikes.
Unbelievable.
I've always had bikes, as most people have always had bikes. Well, most people in my generation started with a bike. Bicycle fitted my mode of living perfectly in a small town with easy transport. I didn't need to have a car. Bicycles are fun.
James, he's totally passionate about bikes. Once he gets going, the excitement rubs off.
You can buy a 100-year-old bike and ride it every day to work. There's very few things that have lasted 100 years without changing.
Yeah, without any change at all.
The beauty of a bicycle is that it's simple and it should be reliable. It should last.
Well, they're pretty basic machines, aren't they?
Yeah, the basic machine that built the modern world. We should have respect for our Australian history and we should maintain it. We had some of the best bicycles in the world in the 1940s.
I'm a bike collector myself, and there's a lot of bikes here that I'd be interested in buying, but I know they're not going to be cheap. Are they all for sale?
Everything's for sale if someone's got money.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I brought my,
Make the right offer.
I brought my wallet, but I don't want to be paying top dollar. What I'm going to do is have a browse around first and not be too keen, too quick.
Everything's organised. It's the most
Very,
impeccably clean collection I've ever seen.
Just even so far how he's gone top to tail on each bike, so it maximises his space.
That lot out there are all reasonably modern. This lot here would all be pre-war.
Okay.
So you're going back 50s, 40s, 30s and 20s. You'll notice that most of these, or a good half of them, have still got their original paint.
Yeah.
That's the rarest thing you're going to find on a bike.
Okay.
It's a bicycle that's still got its original paint. Because every kid who got a bike painted it.
Painted their favourite
And the
colour or
next
whatever.
kid painted it again.
Yeah. These sort of men's bikes out the back here.
Yeah.
What sort of ballpark are we?
$800.
Okay.
And I think that's a fair price.
Sure.
For getting something that you're just not going to find around anymore.
Yeah. 800's a lot more than I want to pay, but I still really want a bike. So I'm going to start small and see if I can get the ball rolling.
Look at you found.
You found some skateboards.
Is it Surfer Sam?
Surfer Sam.
Surfer Sam.
These for sale.
I would sell anything. And especially if it's not a bicycle, I'd much rather sell something that's not a bicycle.
Give you a bit more room for another bike.
I've got other Australian ones if you want to look at another one.
I'd love to have a look at
If you're a skateboarder, man. But that's a bit collectible.
That's ripping, yeah. This one I noticed has a price tag of $3.
You sure you don't want it in pounds, shillings and pence?
These skateboards are really collectible and I want to make a sale. I'm going to put them together and see if I can get them as a package.
I did a 3 for $500. And I know that these are going for $350 plus on the internet.
500 is a little high for me.
So what's a good price for you?
I'd be a little under half that, to be honest.
I'll sell you those 2 for 200 and I'll keep this one for my boy.
Even on skateboards, James is asking for top shelf prices. What about just that guy on his own?
Oh, I'd go for $50 just because it hasn't got wheels and it's hard to put away.
$3.
How many are there, though?
I want to get a sale done with James, so I'm going to take the skateboard off his hands. Deal.
Adam's got his first deal out of the way, and now it's my turn. What do you know about that?
I know it's a wooden propeller.
Hey, there you go. We're off. It's one of those decorative pieces that you can put on a wall and it'll look quite nice in a home. What would you be wanting for something like this?
It's a novelty item as far as I'm concerned, but you'd hope to get $50 or $80 for it.
Would you do it for 50?
Oh, yeah, I'd do that for 50. You could have 50 for that.
I like that. That's gorgeous. Thank you very much.
Now it's time to see if I can take one of these bikes off James's hands.
That one, I'd want $800 plus for.
I don't know. I'd only be in about 200, I think.
$450. What do you reckon?
Not even close.
We're in Queensland at a place called the House of Bikes. The owner, James, he's made preserving the push bike his life's work. Look at all this stuff.
Bikes.
Unbelievable.
We've had a good look around James's basement workshop, but we're going to head upstairs and see if there's something to pick.
Wow. And sure enough, upstairs was beyond our expectations. Look at all that.
Room upon room, every nook and cranny there's full. There's artworks, there's absolutely everything that shows what sort of man James is. Never been in a kitchen with bikes in it.
When you type per room, you pop them anywhere you can. Unbelievable. I mean, absolutely gobsmacked. This is years and years and years of work. This is not something that's fallen together in a couple of months. Everything from the way that the jars of food are stored through to the cutlery and the bench, it's all been repurposed. And he's really done an amazing job of putting it all together and making it work for him. Every single inch has been used, hasn't it?
This is my favourite house so far.
I'm pretty much with you on that.
Bikes, they're on the ceiling, they're on the floor, and line every single wall.
Just going to pop upstairs, is that all right?
Yeah, pop upstairs, see how you go.
Wow. It's a labyrinth, you know, it is just a labyrinth. There's rooms coming off everywhere. The building looks like it was originally here, but it's been added to over the years. And that's a beautiful thing. You know, it slowly is expanding to take the collection that is slowly being acquired. There's a lot of bikes here for you, but I see 1,000 things that I like, the little bits and pieces, the bric-a-brac. It's kind of refreshing as a collector to be allowed into someone else's house like this, that you get to see their own personal insight into life. And they're you know, if I end up like this when I'm his age, I'd be a really happy man.
This is a true collector's house. Yeah, like there's everything.
Look at that one. And that's a nice headlamp.
Amongst the bikes, there's hundreds of other things that I could buy. We just have to figure out what James is willing to let go.
How long have you been here for?
I've been here 28 years. That's what happens if you don't move. You just keep bringing things home and then having to cull down to get to just what you want.
Well, that's okay. That's what we're here to help. We're here to help you with that today.
You know, I've got lots of things I don't want, lots of things you might want.
Upstairs is amazing, but the collectibles are more up Lucas's alley, so I'm going to leave him to it and go back downstairs where the bikes are.
Oh my God, that is so wrong.
27 years of bread clips.
And you've eaten each of those bags of bread?
Everyone.
Is it bordering on hoarding, do you think?
It's just, you throw it away.
What sort of money can you get for bread clips?
Well, you'd never find another collection of 28 years of dated bread clips.
I mean, I love it when I meet another person that, you know, finds just the odd bits and pieces, and it's like, you know, every shelf is almost a piece of art. Now, all of this sort of stuff you're selling?
I would be happy to sell most of that sort of stuff.
The things that jumped out were pieces I'd seen before. I knew they were collectible. I had to get a sale in. First thing, a little green lamp there.
Yeah?
What would you want for something like that?
I'd want $30 at least.
And the white one?
White one, I'd do that for 50.
Okay.
Don't often see the white one, see a brown one occasionally.
That's so true. Yeah, the white Bakelite's a little rarer.
Yeah.
They come up beautifully once you restore them.
Yeah, give them a polish.
Little salt and peppers.
Yeah, well, you know.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd sell them.
Like silver because it's one of those things that has a lot of history to it. From the stamps on the bottom, you can trace it back in its past. What'd you ask for those?
$5 or $10.
Yeah. Okay. 30, 50, and
60.
60?
Yeah, I'd do those for pocket money.
I'm going to do those. James is really reasonable with prices when his bikes aren't involved. I've picked up some great pieces. I want to go downstairs and see what Adam's found in the shed.
It's great. There's plenty of complete bikes. You can walk away with them today and I can resell them straight away. You know, you see these vintage women's bikes everywhere. You never see the men's bikes. The boys, they were rough on their bikes and they didn't last. But the girls, they really took care of them. What do you reckon I could sell it for?
If I was to be buying something like this, I'd want to pick it up for at least between 3 and 4, and I reckon I'd get between 4 and 5.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. I think he's in about $800 for me. It's that emotional connection, you know?
Yeah. It makes it hard to pry it out of their hands.
I've had a good look at the stock. Now it's time to see if I can take one of these bikes off James's hands.
That one, I'd want $800 plus 4.
I don't know.
It's all original. It's got its original parts on it, original paint.
I'd only be in about 200, I think. Where are we on something like that?
I'd sell that one there for $450. Original paint. What do you reckon?
Not even close.
Not even close to it.
No. You don't hold it against him for having a higher price than I would put on it. He's doing exactly the same as I am. He's going to make some money, but for me to buy it off him and make some money on top, it just makes it a little hard. I'm at about 200.
I'll go 250. It's all about bargaining.
220. That's my job. 220.
All right, we'll do 220. You're a good man.
Yes, 220 is a good deal. It means I'm coming away from the house of bikes with a bike of my own. That little Australian, I can get 100 for it.
I bought that wooden propeller for $50. I can sell that for at least $100. The pieces I bought upstairs, the 2 lamps, the salt and pepper shakers in silver, I paid $60. I reckon I can get $250 for that lot.
And the best buy of the day was that vintage bike. I got it for $220, but I can get at least $500 for it.
Nice to do business with you.
You as well. Thanks very much for having us.
Thanks very much for letting us
I'm welcome
through your house. You got one of these places that you can probably walk through 10 times and still see stuff that I haven't seen before.
It can be overwhelming at first sight. Find anyone who wants bicycles, just send them my way.
Yeah, I will. Thanks very much.
Well done.
Thanks again.
Thanks a lot, fellas.
It's been a brilliant day. We've met a man with some passion for history. We've seen a beautiful house and come away with some brilliant pieces.
See yous.
He's a great bloke, wasn't he? It's really nice to know there's guys out there trying to keep this history alive.
It's amazing the places our picking takes us. And we're constantly surprised by the things we find on the way. Adam and I are driving through this town called Coolaman, and he spots this shop that's called the Up To Date Store. Look at that.
Up to date store. Up to date? Yeah, right. This place hasn't been updated since the early 1900s. It's the oldest up to date anything that I've ever seen. We just had to pull over and check it out.
Walking inside, there's some modern displays, but the rest of it looks like an old-fashioned country town store. And behind the counter, there's a guy who looks as old as the place itself.
G'day, mate. How are you? Adam.
Neil.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Lucas, how you doing?
Good, mate. Good.
There was this great old character called Neil who sounded like he'd been smoking cigarettes and drinking scotch. His voice was really rusty.
What's all this about?
It was a grocery store. It was built as a general store.
Yeah.
There was a chemist, there was a grocery shop, there was an ironmonger, there was building and supplies.
Sure.
You name it, it supplied it.
So when you say general store, generally it had everything.
Yeah.
Everything you need.
Yeah.
He showed us this wonderful device.
What's that?
What can you tell us about this?
Right, now this is a Lansing, they call it the Lansing Railway.
Yeah.
Right, and what it was a money carrier. You'd come in here, you'd check your bill, you'd give them your check, it'd be put in here.
Yeah.
And then they go in here, and then they go there. You know how to do that?
That is far and away the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Amazing. It was like, Scale Electrics before electricity. It was just brilliant.
All the guy down in the office had to do was take out what was in there, put it back was what he'd send it back, and then it'd come to where it went from.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's incredible.
It's bloody genius.
Yeah, well, it is. When you think about it, it was built in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So it's been here over 100 years.
Good Lord.
It's the only one in its original position that still works in the world.
Mate, thanks very much. It's been a pleasure. Much appreciated.
Thanks very much, Neil. I thought Neil was a card. It sounded like he had a rough old life, but on speaking to him, just the passion he held for the building and for the railroad, it was a beautiful thing. It was a great man to talk to.
There's money to be made from moving memorabilia. I mean, just a poster can go for $1,000.
Star Wars.
No, it is too. It's 3 reels. Wow. This is amazing. This is something I would love to get my hands on.
You'd want $1 million for that.
So we're back on the road, working our way down the coast. Another day, another dollar. That's my motto.
Back in the country.
Yeah, it's a nice country. It is. Still.
You miss your smog, do you?
Yeah, nice place to visit. Oh, there you go. No one's ringing me. Hello there.
Hello, my pickers.
How are you?
I've found a gentleman called Stuart who is apparently in your neck of the woods.
Okay.
And he is everything you could possibly imagine cinema. He is Mr. Cinema.
I love Cinemalia.
He's got projectors, really early ones. He's got original silent films. I just think you should go and have a nice stroll through and see what you can find.
Well, can you text us the details?
I will. I'll send them through now.
Thanks very much. See you later. Bye.
I mean, this guy sounds like a character.
Yeah. I'd love to get folding cinema seats, lamps, lighting, projectors, just because of the pure fact that it's so sellable.
There's money to be made from moving memorabilia. I mean, just a poster can go for $1,000.
People, they'll have them in their home, you know? They'll have, remember watching Casablanca, that's the first time I got to first base with Sue.
That's right.
You know, all that,
it's true.
All that
it
stuff.
really is true.
Whenever the subject of movies comes up, there's always one film that gets mentioned and it drives me nuts. And this is going to be highly, highly controversial.
Yeah.
Star Wars. Don't care.
Don't care.
Jedi. I'm a Jedi. Jedi.
Star Wars can be worth a lot of money.
That is the only thing I like about Star Wars.
Is what the
collectability and money. I can sell it on.
Yeah. We're up for the movie thing, you know, but what Sess hasn't told us is whether or not Mr. Cinema is a collector and a seller.
Got to be close, doesn't it? Right, I think this is the street, mate.
You think this is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look.
I was picturing this grand old country theatre, but it just turned out to be an ordinary suburban cinema. This has got to be it. There's nothing else on the street.
This is a small little building in a suburban street. It's not what I expected. Might be different inside.
Cinema reel in the floor. That's pretty cool.
My gut says it's too tiny for picking, but I'm keeping an open mind.
It's not looking old, mate. I was expecting a really old museum.
Maybe Cecily's sleeping.
I think she might be. We turned the corner, and there was Stuart to meet.
Stuart?
Hello, guys. Come on in.
How are you?
Yeah, great. Thanks.
I'm Adam.
Hello, Adam.
My mate Lucas. Nice to meet you.
Good on to Lucas.
Wow, what an incredible collection of stuff you've got.
This bloke really knows his stuff. He even looks the part, with his dicky bow, standing amongst these beautiful old machines.
It is probably the largest collection in Australia of early cinema apparatus.
Yeah, right. I was absolutely flabbergasted. It was amazing.
You've been collecting long?
Yes, probably around about 50 years. Well, I've always been interested in movies ever since I was a child. My parents gave me a small projector. I suppose I went from there. I've been a projectionist for quite a while. I'm a member of the Cinema Pioneers. I established Richmond Valley Cinemas here in 1999. I ran that for 11 and a half years and I've since retired, but they're still running movies here, which is great. Most of this equipment that you see here does work. These magic lanterns, they're 1880s. When you turn the handle, it moves inside, you see, because there wasn't any film or any motion those days. This guy can actually do this.
Yeah, right.
And that's a chromatrope. Now, that's hand-painted.
Really?
It's about the 1880s, 1890s.
So it's a bit like an animated cell.
Yes, it's the early animation.
Look, if you put a beard on that, Lucas, it would remind me a lot of someone.
We'll start her up and I'll turn her over.
Listen to that. That's smoking. I had never seen anything like that. When it started smoking, I was sure it was going to catch fire.
Yes, that's okay.
It's okay, that's smoking.
That's normal.
Really?
She smokes, this one.
At the end of the day, they're pretty basic things, aren't they?
Oh, there was new technology in 1900.
Yeah, this is a plasma screen TV in its day.
Looking at the film from the early 1900s, it's amazing to see this machine working as well today as it did back then.
So, considering this is the only one of its kind, what do you think this would be worth?
Well, this could be worth $50,000 perhaps, $50,000 perhaps.
Really? Wow, that's incredible.
We've got two hiccups here. Stuart's more keen on show and tell than sell. And if he was to let it go, 50 grand is way outside our budget.
The big stuff, yep, it was out of our league. But there's a whole lot of film cans at the front of the room. The Newtown boys.
Yeah.
Power Rangers.
Star Wars.
No, it is too.
That would be Star Wars in there.
Anything that's heavy, stop filming.
I would love to own a copy of Star Wars. I mean, this is an icon. I know you hate it, but an original print of Star Wars. I mean, I know it's not Adam's kind of thing, but this is amazing. This is something I would love to get my hands on. 3 reels. Wow. So you wouldn't think of selling this?
You'd want $1 million for that.
$1 million? I think I'd probably make my own Star Wars version. Ads, you could star in it.
We've been through this.
Have we? Seriously, would you think of selling something like that?
No, not at this stage.
I really want that. Well, if you ever decide to sell it, you let me know.
Yeah, certainly.
I think that's a great piece of history. Stuart's clearly not going to sell any of his prize collection. But time is money, and I've got to cut to the chase. You've shown us some amazing things in here, but what he and I do is we pick things.
Yes, I know.
We've got to rummage through boxes and...
Well, we might have something for you to pick. We'll move on to perhaps another location.
I'm excited to do that. Let's go. That is exactly what I wanted to hear.
Stuart knows our game. Hopefully he's going to lead us somewhere that's a bit more our style. But cross-country, this day's just not turning out how I imagined, and neither is Stuart. Fair way out of town, isn't it?
Oh, it's 10 Ks.
Yeah, you're overdressed for the situation, man.
Oh, well,
you're in the scrub.
I drove a tractor a while ago, the only man who ever drove a tractor with the bow tie on.
Things are getting stranger by the minute, but when a well-dressed film buff promises rich pickings, you just go along for the ride.
Wow. A dark, dusty shed? Finally, this pick is looking up, but it comes with a warning.
We had a carpet snake here a while ago.
A carpet snake a while ago?
He's just in here.
He's keeping the rats down.
Yeah, he's just in here somewhere.
Is he?
Yeah, he's disappeared.
All right, well, we'll keep our eyes peeled. With the coast clear, there's plenty to get stuck into. Look at that. Old 35?
Yeah.
Seems like he's got a lot more projectors out here than he had in the cinema. It's phenomenal. You've got so many projectors in here.
Projector heaven.
So the collection's much bigger than what's at the museum.
Oh, I've got a lot more than that at the museum.
I mean, this is what he's been collecting, so there's a lot of sentiment attached to all the pieces in that shed.
And this is Cummins and Wilson made in Sydney.
It's still in really good condition.
That'll still work. Bit of a clean-up and you get that machine going.
Hey, Ads, there's something for you. Look at these speakers. Massive speakers.
Oh, they are good.
Stu, would you be interested in selling these?
No.
No. He didn't even entertain the idea.
It's like a little metal sort of cabinet that you'd house your reels in.
Yes.
Would that be for sale?
No, that's a film trunk. It's full of film. It's got silent movies in it.
Oh, does it? It's the same old story. It's not for sale.
That is gorgeous.
He doesn't want to sell.
Oh, he's joking. That's a good piece, mate. That's well spotted. Whenever we go picking, we try to avoid collections because of the sentimental value. Whenever we look around, there's always other stuff. But this time, we've got company.
I'd say we're not alone in here.
That elusive carpet snake, do you want him back?
You can take him if you like.
No thanks. I'll wait till the coast is clear before I get stuck in.
So it's time for a new approach. Let's take the blinkers off and see what else is in here that's not part of the collection. I got some good old dial-up Bakelite phones here, Lucas.
They're great.
You know the type.
How many have you got?
2.
Set it safe, so that's all you need.
The phones are interesting for a few reasons. They're vintage, they're Bakelite, and they're highly collectible.
Are they the ones with the push buttons on them?
No, dial-up. We ring the operator. It was great non-movie related stuff that hopefully you'll be keen to sell. I couldn't wait to see what else he had.
Look at that rod.
All right, I'll grab that. That's a cracker.
And then I spotted a fantastic fishing rod.
A little bit concerned about getting up there to pull the rod down.
Sports equipment is always popular with blokes. Hung up in a bar or in a man cave, it always looks great.
Stu.
Yes.
Would you be open to selling something like this?
Would you want to buy something like that?
I would want to buy something. Adam and I like a bit of a fish occasionally.
Do you?
I think the buy of it is the...
yeah.
That's an old album.
Yeah, Aussie reel, yeah.
So you'd be up for selling something like this?
Yeah, I'll sell it to you.
Would 25 be insulting?
Well, I thought probably 35.
35? See, well, I'm going to go that.
35?
Yeah, done. We're broken the ice, mate. We're
It's
there.
yours.
We're away.
Finally, 6 hours after we met Stuart, Lucas gets the first deal. It's time for me to move in. Found this. There's 2 of these.
Yep.
Would that be for sale?
Are you interested in it?
I am. I'd be interested in both. I'd only have to come in at about 25 each, 50 the pair. I know a single guy that does collect Bakelite phones. I know what he pays, so that was my margin.
Well, I think that it's yours.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'll take those. The day hasn't been a total waste. We've both done a deal, but now Lucas has found something else hidden in the dust.
You mind if we pull it out?
Yep.
Okay.
Fowler.
It is Fowler. That's what caught my eye on it.
Australian-made, early, ticks all the boxes. It's a very good find.
Don't scratch it. There's no way of getting it out, mate.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, this would do really well in someone's... No, there's no kids under it. Would you be interested in selling this?
Yeah, I think I would.
What would you want for something like this?
Have you got a $50 note?
What do you reckon, Ads? Do you reckon?
You'd have to have change.
$40 bucks.
Mate,
It's yours.
Great.
It's good. They are.
That's the pick of the day. You know, Fowler sinks, they're really collectible for modern homes, and you don't see many this size. It made the whole day worthwhile. We picked up the fishing rod for $35. For the reel alone, I think I can get $100.
I picked up the phones for $50, and I can sell them on for $250.
Picked up the sink for $40. I've got a mate who's looking for exactly that piece. Can't wait to get it back to the yard to see what he'll pay me for it.
Look, Lucas, no hands.
Look, Ads, no toes. You know, more ceramics.
Thanks very much for having us. I really appreciate you giving us a look around your museum. It was a good day. Once we stopped worrying about the movie gear that Stuart was never going to sell, we got some great buys.
Goodbye, pickers.
The minute I saw that sink, I knew it was gold. A client of mine's doing up his house. He'll love this.
So here's the thing. How much more for it?
This is the part I like.
I don't know, mate.
Give you 150 for it.
Yeah, right. Back at Stuart's, we saw a whole lot of cinema memorabilia. Unfortunately, he was really attached to it all. Stu, would you be interested in selling these?
No.
Would that be for sale?
No.
And then we found a great sink. I think that's going to be a winner.
Literally, we're about to walk out of the shed, and Lucas went back in and said, hang on, have a look at this.
Would you be interested in selling this?
Yeah, I think I would.
What would you want for something like this?
$40.
Good on you.
It's yours.
Great. The minute I saw that sink, I knew it was gold. A client of mine's doing up his house. He'll love this. I've got him coming in today to have a look at it. Mate, this is what I was talking about. I mean, this was a phone call. Check it out.
It's good.
I thought you'd like that. Something unusual, not the common run-of-the-mill kind of sink. It's a little heavy, but you're not moving it around the house a lot once it's plumbed in. Thought it was perfect for the new reno on the house.
It's good.
Makes a nice statement in the kitchen.
Perfect.
Yeah, if you've got a really clean kitchen, the old or the age sort of look to it just adds that little bit of personal touch, I think.
Yeah.
So it is, completely useful, but nothing too modern and shiny.
Lucas was in his element. He loves to repurpose items, and he can see big potential in this one.
Fowler produced a lot of slipware. I do believe this is slipware. So it was a liquid clay poured into a plaster mould, then popped out as greenware, then fired, then glazed, then fired again. I hope my vision and passion can be seen by others, but I can only do so much. The question is, have I got the sale?
I like it, man. You weren't kidding when you told me this time it was good.
No. I was quite surprised he liked it so much.
So here's the thing.
Here we go.
How much more for it?
This is the part I like.
I don't know, mate. I'd actually rather sort of say, what do you feel it's worth to you? I mean, you shop around, you've been looking at sinks, you're renovating. You know what the cost of something of this size would be if you were to walk into a decent, ceramics bathroom tile company?
Oh, I know.
Can you get the stains out?
I'll give you 150 for it.
Yeah, right. I mean, come on. What would you pay for a sink?
You pay heaps more, but, you're an old friend of mine. Just going to make sure I do it right over this,
I'll tell you what, throw another 50 on that and I'll do you the deal.
$200 is a bargain.
200?
Look, with a client like Jock, he would come in and spend a year, maybe $20,000, $30,000 with me. So when I pick up an item fairly cheap, I don't need to run him up the pole to make a buck off him. I know that he's going to come back again.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
200. I mean, I suppose everyone's a winner today, then, don't they?
Yeah, got to look after your friends.
I would have sold it at auction. I would have got $450 for it on a good day. But Lucas has got to look after his client. He's made a little profit, and everyone's done well.
You reckon you'd help me get in the car?
No chance, not for 200. You're on your own.
Bought the sink for 40, sold it for 200. You know, that's a fairly good increase in profit. I'm not too unhappy with that.
It's unique. It's going to be, you know, it's definitely got some character.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And that's $160 in my pocket for the next pick.